The 2000 presidential election will be remembered as the most bitterly contested in U.S. history, but if you believe one theory, we ought to take a much closer look at the results of the 2004 election as well. A new article in Rolling Stone magazine bluntly claims George W. Bush stole that election from John Kerry through a series of Republican dirty tricks at the state and local levels. The piece claims more than 350,000 voters in the battleground state of Ohio were either prevented from voting or didn't have their votes counted at all. The article is comprehensive, but is it an accurate characterization of what actually happened? And is it really possible that a conspiracy of this magnitude has been kept quiet for this long? Joining me now, the author of that article, Robert F. Kennedy, Jr. Welcome.
Thanks for having me, Tucker.
I read the whole piece. It's a serious piece, and I take it seriously. But you are alleging a massive conspiracy to, as you put it, fix the 2004 election. A conspiracy of the size you described would have required the complicity of literally thousands of people. Why have none of those people come forward to admit they were part of it?
Well, I don't agree with that. I think, first of all, I think it's indisputable, whether you want to call it a conspiracy or an agreement or whatever you want, that the high-level Republican officials mounted a concerted, deliberate effort to fix the 2004 election, and that there's strong evidence that they succeeded in doing so, particularly in the state of Ohio. It's not just me who's saying this. These are facts that are public, that they've been the subject of a congressional committee hearing, or various congressional committee hearings, and a big report by John Conyers. They have been subject of prosecutions and ongoing prosecutions by public officials, by public enforcers in the state of Ohio, and they're part of the public record.
But that's part of the problem, I guess, here. I mean, look, I have no doubt, and I don't think anybody would, that there are voting irregularities in this election as there are in any election, probably some crookedness as there are in any election, again. But you're alleging that in state after state, not just Ohio, but many states, including Florida, New Mexico, and others, there were concerted, coordinated efforts to subvert the vote. And yet, John Kerry, the person who lost in this election, the injured party here, when you talked to him and you said, do you think this election was fixed, he said no.
Well, I don't think that's what John Kerry says at this point. But, you know, the issue here is that these facts are on the table, Tucker. There's no dispute about the facts. I mean, go through the article and show me a single fact that you dispute.
Well,
the real question.
Let
me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Let me say this.
The
real question here is, why did the press not cover this? Even if this should not be a partisan issue, Tucker.
Well, but it is a partisan issue.
Listen,
wait, hold on.
Let me finish what I'm saying, because I let you speak.
Okay, go ahead.
I let you speak. You should be as outraged and indignant about this as I am. And, you know, if I can tell you this, that if a Democrat did this, or the Democratic Party did this, I would be standing up there with any Republican or anybody who wanted and said, this is wrong.
But did what? I mean,
hold on. I mean, look at all of the things that Kenneth Blackwell did.
Mr. Kennedy, it's my turn now. The specifics are the key here. Now, speaking of partisan, your piece, I think, not to be literary critic here, but falls down in this regard. It is a purely partisan piece. You quote again and again Howard Dean, John Conyers, Dennis Kucinich, Ralph Nees. I mean, literally, Michael Moore and Ramsey Clark are about the only two left-wing activists you don't quote. And my question is, why hasn't Congress determined that, in other words, if the election was thrown in and were obvious to those who looked carefully, it would be a news story. The press is not going to hide something like that, and neither is Congress. So why isn't this common knowledge?
Well, first of all, I quote a lot of Democrats in the piece, but I quote an equal amount of Republicans. I quote Kenneth Mailman. I quote Matt Damschroeder. I quote the people who were involved in the efforts to suppress the Democratic vote and to expand in other ways the Republican vote. So it's not a partisan piece.
Okay.
It's a piece that, and I'll tell you something, Tucker, I'm surprised that you are not as outraged and indignant about this as I am.
Let's get, hold on, we've been very general here. Let's talk specifically about some of the allegations you make. Quote, in New Mexico, which was decided by a little under 6,000 votes, malfunctioning machines mysteriously failed to properly register a presidential vote on more than 20,000 ballots. Okay. You throw that out there, you don't provide evidence that that is part of a coordinated campaign to fix this election, nor do you show that that helped Republicans over Democrats. So what does that mean? It doesn't mean anything, actually.
That wasn't evidence that I offered.
It's in the first paragraph of your piece.
Yeah, but that's not evidence that I offered as part of the argument that this was a coordinated. Listen to what I'm saying.
Okay.
That was not evidence that I offered that this was part of a coordinated attack. that it was coordinated, that it was deliberate, that it was concerted. That the evidence for that is the evidence. I picked out one state to focus on. I said that this kind of thing, these kind of irregularities happen in many states. In New Hampshire, for example.
Bush won by 3 million votes, okay? Nothing you allege would have made... You say that the Republicans thwarted the popular will. The popular will was expressed by a margin of 3 million votes. Nothing you suggest here adds up to a margin of 3 million or even close.
Well, first of all, the electoral votes were decided, the presidency was decided in the state of Ohio by 118,000 votes. And what I show is that there's somewhere around 400,000 votes, almost all Democratic, that were stolen in the state of Ohio. So that would have shifted the election to President to John Kerry.
See, this is the problem.
But I also do say this to answer.
You don't show that they were stolen. You claim that election officials prevented, very indirectly, people from getting registered. Okay, that's different from stealing votes, and I think your overstatement devalues the power of what might be a more compelling piece.
No, listen. What I show is that there were 350,000 people, mainly from Democratic precincts, who were not allowed to vote or whose votes weren't counted. I also show, Tucker, that there were 80,000 people in 12 rural counties who had their votes shifted, and this is stolen, shifted from John Kerry, who intended to vote for John Kerry, but their votes ended up being counted for George Bush. That's a margin of 160,000 votes, and that easily would have put the election it shifted the election results and the presidency to John Kerry.
Yeah, see,
in addition to that, Tucker, there are another six counties, which I didn't even tabulate because the figures that I used, I tried to keep them conservative. But in those 6 counties, there is strong evidence that votes in those counties were also stolen at the same rate that they were in what we call the dirty dozen, the dirty 12 rural counties.
I mean, you know, some of what you say, I'm not saying this piece is, we're unfortunately out of time. Let me just sum up by saying I don't think this piece is crackpot. I'm not suggesting that. I don't think you're a crackpot. I don't think, though, that you fully make the case, and I can't get over the fact that Kerry himself isn't convinced. But I hope people will judge for themselves. The piece is in Rolling Stone. It's long. I think it's worth reading. And I appreciate your coming on.
Thanks, Tucker.
Thank you.